the Vulcan pre-show for tonight's matchups. My name's Sadokist, Henry with me, as well as Natu joining us again this evening. 2 matches on the dock, as always. It's best of 3s for both. The lower bracket, which is an elimination game. Whoever loses that, Kinguin or VP, they're done. And then Na'Vi will play TSM for a berth in the group final.
Interesting stuff. We've got some more lineup shift-arounds tonight as well.
Yes, we do.
Some more Nib magic being brought into the group. So tonight,
because why not?
Dark
Kinguin
magic.
Bringing Forest and their coach Legia. So that's going to be
Well,
interesting.
they got beat by that Nip Magic last night, so they want to try it.
They can source some of themselves, and maybe it's a good idea after losing yesterday to TSM, a weakened TSM without their caller, trying to mix things up a little bit, maybe try and get some of that magic for themselves.
And what are our thoughts with VP, who started off the series last night with a win over Na'Vi on map number 1. Then they lost the rest of the series. They kind of fell apart. Never really. Well, I shouldn't say that. The second game was close on Overpass, but the third was not.
Yeah,
they weren't in it at all in Inferno.
First 2 maps were really back and forth. It was really hard to really call out who's going to really win that one. On the third one, I feel we felt like they really threw it away. They were forced buying way too much in the first half, and coming out with 5 rounds on CT side Overpass is just not enough.
And I was just going to say thank you for correcting me. I said Inferno was third, Inferno was second. That was actually close. It was Overpass. You were right. I was wrong. So good for you to mention it. Do we take a look at that, though, leading into this game? We'll take a look at the structure in just a second, but does VP perhaps maybe have a bit of a chance then to take down Kinguin?
I mean, considering Kinguin has to play with 2 stand-ins, essentially, even though he's their coach and does know how they play, it's still, he's not Scream, is he? So I think it's going to be pretty hard for Kinguin tonight.
I think it's going to be very hard. Having 1 stand-in's one thing. Having 2 makes it much more difficult, I think. Going against VP as well, such a drilled lineup. Of course, they had a bad game last night, bad couple of maps. But it was just playing against themselves. It felt like they, like Natu said, force buying a lot, horrible CT economy management, and I don't think they'll be making the same mistakes against Kinguin, to be honest. Especially as a.
I don't think they have to.
No, yeah, that's the whole thing, right? There's definitely no pressure really. They know they're going to be a very pug style team. They just need to play their game, quite a standard sort of procedure for them, and it should be a 2-0 quite convincingly.
Well, we will take a look at the tournament format, and just while we bring that up, it might be interesting to note that Legia, this will be a chance for him to play in with the team. I'm sure he scrims with them in time to time, but another perspective of learning in that coaching role and seeing how things are firsthand. There it is. So basically, our qualifiers, they were done. They're already commenced and committed and finished. We have Method, Kinguin, and Dignitas that have made it into the groups, respectively. The U.S. group with Luminosity, CLG, Liquid, are looking pretty good. Now, the other one is, and here we see a bigger picture of it. The other change in the lineups is the fact that Mouse Sports is now in. Envious electing to step aside due to scheduling issues, roster change. They want to iron some things out. So Mouse Sports had to play against Daubrian Gaming in sort of a last chance qualifier because they were the 2 runners-up in each of the European qualifiers. They ended up winning it in, so now it's Fnatic, Mouse Sports, Titan, and Dignitas in that group, which to me gives Fnatic quite an upper hand without Envious there.
Yeah, but still, I think Mouse Sports is favored over Titan and Dignitas both in those matchups. So I feel like they're going to be together with Fnatic, the top 2 teams on that group.
Well, and that said, speaking of the groups, there's only 1 from each that will make it to the LAN, and then all of the European teams will be compiled into a giant group for a last chance. So even though there's an elimination match tonight, as we said, our first one, Kinguin or Virtus.pro, they'll be done from this group, but potentially still a chance to get through. If that tends to be the case, they could still win out the group from the lower bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. So it goes to a best of 5 towards the end, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the other interesting thing. Last year we did in the groups, I think it was best of 3 for the lower bracket, best of 5 for the upper, but it is best of 5s for both of those, so lots of chances.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting.
Yep. So we'll take a peek at that, I believe, the situation in the group. So once we – here it is here. I lost track of it. Yeah, okay, so this is back to where we were. That's exactly the circulation I was talking about. Basically, the winner of this group will go through. TSM last night, 2-0, and then 2-1. We talked about that. Na'Vi over Virtus.pro. So there's your brackets as it sits.
So TSM versus Nadas Vincere. Carrigan presumably back tonight as well, so they're going to be firing on all cylinders. They've managed to get through without him. Na'Vi looking pretty strong last night, though, taking down VP. It's very difficult matchup. They got through that, so that's going to be the hot game tonight, I think. Like the first game we've got, it'll be good, but I think we all know the result of that one. That second game is going to be very hard to predict, though. That's going to be a really exciting series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this first one should be a little more predictable. Like you're saying, 1 stand-in's one thing, 2's another.
Yeah,
but
it's
the second one
full-on pug style. And we talk about Kinguin's style being pretty puggy sometimes anyway. So having 2 other players in there, especially wild cards like Forest.
Could be good for you guys as well. Not sorry to cut you off, but for you 2 to look at it and point out some of the basic mistakes that players watching, aspiring CS players, whatever, enthusiasts, matchmaking heroes watching common mistakes that are made in those situations. So it'll be interesting to see if you guys can dissect sort of those, where the communication breaks down with that much of a pug.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, look, watch his space. It's coming.
Natsu.
Come on. We saw yesterday, even without Carrigan and TSM playing, we could really see, especially when they were playing really slow, that they were having a trouble executing and like really timing things and going with the right flow. So I think it's going to be pretty easy to spot that on Kinguin.
Yeah,
I agree.
Well, we'll take a look, as this is the Vulcan show, at our Vulcan rosters. We didn't get to see the results from last night. We were kind of joking that I probably beat you again, and I think based on the results I did, but it would have been close, I think, actually.
I didn't invest too heavily in TSM. So
right, and that was the weakness. So we'll see what you did tonight. We'll take a peek at the orders here and bring them up. We also have the Twitch chat one where Twitch actually picked up a player themselves. But Henry, you're up first, so you can talk about your investments this evening.
Okay. I don't have the
paper. We don't have the paper.
So this makes it a little bit more challenging. I thought it would be on the screen as we went through this. I can remember, I think I can. So I've got Taz kicking things off. He's been great recently. He had some great form last night as well. Unfortunately, didn't win the series, but he looked pretty strong anyway. Then Neo, we talk about him being a consistent player. Always good for 1 or 2 frags, although he is an AWPer, so don't invest too heavily into him. He was cheaper, I thought, than that. But that's the only 2 players I think I took from VP. Moving on to the next one. TSM next.
So let's see if you learned your lesson.
My memory, right? Okay, so then Carrigan, yes, and then Dupree. And it's really hard to talk about this without actually having it in front of me. I guess Cajun B. Yeah, that makes sense. So obviously I assume I want TSM to win tonight, so I'm putting them into the mix. 3 of their players, Carrigan, Dupree, Cajun B. 3 of the strongest, I think. Carrigan obviously missing last night. He's arrived today. Dennis, I'm not really investing too heavily into Kinguin at all, just because of the lineup they have. So I just took their cheapest player just to kind of balance the books a little bit. So Dennis has been brought into the lineup. So we can chuck him in there if you like. There we go. And then we move into Navi. And I believe I took Guardian and Seized as my final 2 there.
Let's see if you're correct. I've got the sheet now, the magic
sheet.
It.
Okay, this has been much easier before. Now we've got it. We're back. So yeah, Seized and Guardian as my last 2 players. Seized really consistent recently. Every single game seems to find even 1-on-3 situations. Whenever he's presented to players in front of them, he mows them down. Guardian, need no introduction. Wasn't playing amazingly last night. Pretty quiet considering his current form. But the shot caller for tonight is, of course, Dupree. I think he's in great form right now. And one of TSM's headline riflers, and you can always rely on him. But
contrast entries are full. What league did you select? What have you gone into? Either way, that's a decent lineup. I actually like your lineup tonight, actually more than last evening. Cajun B, dead consistent. I didn't go with him, interestingly enough, but Seized, Guardian.
Well, I think you have to invest pretty heavily into TSM.
I actually genuinely believe you've got the better lineup than I do tonight.
Wow, finally, you've admitted it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see the results will speak. I actually like the complexion of your lineup a little bit more. And I'll go over mine here before we get into Natsu's, just to give that quick comparison. As I've pointed out, I think that you might have me here. So with VP, I started off, I invested 2 on every team because no matter what, they're playing the same amount of games this evening.
Sure.
So it just seemed to make sense. And even if we do a carry-on where there's only 2 games in the next 2 evenings, it'll be the same 4 teams regardless. You're going to lose 1 team, that's it, if we go into the lower bracket, final upper bracket.
My whole thing, just to explain a little bit, not getting into Kinguin at all, I don't think that's going to go to 3 maps.
Right, me neither.
That's why I only picked one of their players.
Yeah, and so I oddly enough still picked up 2 of theirs just based on how much money I spent. I kind of went top heavy, which therefore mean I don't have depth. So I started off with VP. I went with Snacks. That was the top heavy guy. He's the most expensive player on their team. Bialy, for me, though, is a guy that obviously last night had good points, 3rd highest on the team. Taz, you could argue, better value, but Bialy for me is a little bit more consistent. I actually didn't pick up Taz. I went with just Bialy and Snacks. So it was kind of a debate between the 2, but I think Bialy needed to be a little bit, more consistent, more forthcoming. I think he needs to step up this evening. So TSM was my next team, obviously, on the list. I went with Device and Zipnix. Zipnix was really solid last night. Again, you guys have been saying he's been on fire as of late. I think that's true. I think that that's definitely a form we'll continue to see from him. Online stuff, no surprise. TK, again, Kinguin, you only invested 1, and I actually think that's the right decision. I went with 2 on this, again, just because they're playing even games, but I went super cheap on the 2 that I grabbed. I went with Fox and Dennis. two cheapest players I could pick up simply to fill out the roster. And that way, at least I still have some fragging potential on that team.
Yeah.
I also think Dennis is pretty solid for the value. But then Na'Vi picked up my last two players, and very different than where I normally go with them. I didn't actually go ahead and pick up Guardian. I could have gone, as you can see with the salary that I have remaining, I could have gone Guardian and Zeus, but what I actually did was Zeus and Edward. So it was a completely different approach to stay away from Guardian, which I could regret later on.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of your team, dude.
Well, that's all right. Shot caller for me, though, is Device, so maybe he'll make up for it.
Yeah, it's definitely a weaker team than mine.
It does actually look a little bit weaker on paper tonight, I have to say, which isn't normally something I look at right away.
I actually stayed away from Kinguin altogether.
Interesting.
That was my strategy.
I like it.
From VP, I went for Taz and Neo, just like Henry. Just for the fact that, first of all, they're pretty cheap, but it's good value for the money.
Yeah.
Both been playing really well yesterday, especially Neo was shining. Moving to TSM, I picked up 3 players from there. I went for Carrigan, Cajun B, and Sipnix. For, I feel like, pretty obvious reasons. Carrigan as well is really cheap, but he's not only brought his tactical aspect and just the way they're able to read teams, but he's been very good in fragging wise as well.
Especially the last couple of events as well.
Yeah,
he really has stepped up. He's been really impressive.
Yep.
So it's definitely a justified pick considering he's the cheapest player on the roster as well.
Then moving on to Na'Vi, I went for Guardian, Seized, and Edward. And I picked Guardian as my shot caller. Just for the fact I feel like he doesn't have many off nights in a row. Even though he didn't really have a super off night yesterday, but he wasn't exactly shining either. Guardian's going to be my shot caller, yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. I'd normally say you don't want to have an AWP player as your shot caller, but the thing about Guardian is he's one of the world-class riflers as well. He's a great hybrid, so you know you're going to get decent points from him whatever happens. If he has a stellar night with the AWP, you're making points there, and if he's not getting the AWP out, he's still going to do well with the M4 and AK. So definitely a strong pick there, and you know Guardian's always going to perform. He's never going to have a bad game.
Yeah, I think that's a good point with Guardian. I might regret not having him. But let's see what the PGL staff / Twitch chat went with. They started out with VP just like we did. Neo and Taz picked up. So decent players, decent value in terms of money. Both really affordable and can both have an impact. Obviously, Taz last night was great. They also went with TSM. Now, the staff of PGL picked 2 from TSM, Dupree and Cajun B, which are... Again, last night Dupree was awesome. Cajun B is pretty consistent. But they also had Twitch chat pick a player at the end, and they picked up Zipnix. So they've got 3 from TSM now instead. And TK, they only picked up 1, and that's just Dennis, who's the cheapest. So keeping it fairly efficient, that gives them lots of money left for Na'Vi. And on Na'Vi, they went Edward and Flamey, which is, I don't disagree with Flamey getting picked up in there. Obviously, they were just slightly shy of being able to grab Guardian with that lineup.
I just think Steez is a better value for money pick, just considering he's like almost $400 cheaper, right? And he is one of the top fraggers there, but...
And then Taz was voted in as shot caller by the Twitch chat as well, so we'll see how their lineup works.
Steez has a lot of impact facts when Na'Vi does well. Just like, for example, yesterday on Inferno, he had a massive impact on the B side and how he took situations where Na'Vi lost first 2 players, but he still came through, and I think he got even like 3 people on Banana by his own. So things like that. So whatever Na'Vi's doing well, you're probably going to see Steez doing a pretty good job.
All right, well, we will take a short break, just about 1 minute's time, and then we'll get into the first matchup. It is going to be Team Kinguin going against Virtus.pro. All right, guys, welcome to it. It is going to be our first best of 3 Virtus.pro Team Kinguin, Sadokist, along with Henry G and Natu.
Hello.
Guys, we've had a preview of these guys post-major just last night. Some interesting score lines. What do we think going into this evening?
I don't think we can take too much away from anything recently. Considering that it's going to be a complete mashup of players. We've got Forrest and Legia stepping in there. We're going to talk about all the previous results all night, but ultimately it's not going to mean that much. As long as VP play their normal game, don't do anything too crazy, and handle that CT economy a little bit, I guess, smarter compared to yesterday, then they'll be absolutely fine. They don't need to brew anything too special here, and I think you'd probably agree with that, right?
I do, yeah. It's really, but at the same time, it's really hard for an actual team to. How do you approach when you're playing against a total mixed team?
Yeah.
When you have, obviously, they have a lot of individual skill. Like Forrest, you can tell him to like go and search an area alone, and if his aim is on point, he's going to be very dangerous. So what VP is really have to do, they have to play as a team, as a unit, do things together. That's what's going to make a mixed team really uncomfortable.
I think the set piece game will be pretty useful against someone like Kinguin when they have this unexpected lineup. They'll be probably trying to do a lot of force faces and stuff like that, trying to get the early frags. As long as you play the rounds correctly and just hold back, wait for the pick, seeing the aggression coming in as a T side especially, you should be able to lock down anything they bring to the table and just execute onto the sides of the team, and they'll fall apart at that stage.
Well, we'll look at the 5 that they do have right now on screen. The Kinguin lineup, obviously the big one that's missing, Scream. He's been outstanding for them throughout the season. Headshot Monster. Replacing him, I guess if you want to call his direct replacement Forrest or Legia, take your pick. But also missing Rain, who's another big accuracy player.
Two of the biggest players on the team missing, to be fair. So Screen and Rain, you miss those guys out, you're missing a lot of fragging potential. Obviously, Forrest stepping up, another one of the world's best players, but whether he fits into this lineup, I'm not so sure. He's definitely got the same mentality, I guess, as someone like Rain especially. I think that's quite a nice swap out for them. But Legia coming in for Scream, that could be...
Yeah, Forrest lives with, he wants to have aim duels. That's what he plays for. And basically, you know, all the way going back to like 1.6 times even in Fnatic, you can ask Karn about this. All he'd really have to do is just tell him direction to go to, and he would do things. Yeah. So I'm assuming he's going to get to sort of relive some of that magic where someone's just going to tell him to go somewhere, and he's just going to get to do whatever he wants to.
Yeah, and then moving on to Legia as well. Obviously, he's a good player. No one can take that away from him, but now he is a coach. He's not going to be a world-class level. Coming into this, he obviously knows the strategies and the setups of Kinguin, but whether that's going to be enough to take down VP, I'm not so sure. I'm afraid it won't be a complete washout for them. They'll put up a decent game. There'll be some interesting rounds, but I think we'll just be waiting for the inevitable result, I'm afraid.
Well, we'll see if that's going to be the case. I mean, who knows? Bad night for VP, capitalized by completely random game style. I'm going to throw the 5% chance in there.
Yeah, I think it's more than 5%, to be fair. Obviously, these guys are good enough to get rounds off them, and maybe if the planets align, something could come together for them. But if you're just talking about purely a prediction here.
Sure. Oh, yeah, no. I don't disagree with you whatsoever. So that's a look at them. Obviously, map statistics, even those kind of get thrown aside when you have this much of a change. But obviously this is the set 5, the longest running roster right now in CSGO, because Na'Vi, when they switched Flamey, gave up that, I guess, title, if you want to call it that, to VP.
I think the fun thing that you've noticed probably from VP is the fact that Pash is not even secondary opping now at this point in time for them. It's Snacks that is picking up the second op when they go for 2. So at least for me, I think it's been a positive impact for Pash's play. Feel like he's sort of refound himself as well, just like Neo has with the opping. Pasha, without an op, has sort of just found himself again.
He's been moved into the more point man role, the AK-47, and he just seems to be lighting up headshots all over the map now, especially on maps like Train when it takes big entry kills, going into big areas, unknown territory where the CTs could be anywhere. He just seems to be a spinning headshot machine, and yeah, he's really stepped it up.
And it's weird to me too, because even when he was the opper, when he picked up a rifle, I never really considered his rifle to be that scary, but now we're seeing that it's his primary again. It really is. You know, it's kind of like maybe he's just gone out and put more time into it and taken it a little more seriously instead of saying, oh, well, I don't have the op this round. It's not my job. He's actually taken the role on with a sense of responsibility, it seems, because like you're saying, his accuracy has actually surprised me now that he's back in that role.
It feels like the sort of freedom he's getting when he's getting out of the opping is just being beneficial for him.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And we look at Neo as well. Someone I've spoken about, just one of the most consistent AWPers, I think, currently playing the game. He's like not the flashiest, not the scariest to watch, but when he's playing defensive position as CT, a team executes onto him, you know he's good for at least 1 or 2 kills every single time. Will hit the shots that count. Won't be getting the 360 no-scope through smoke or anything like that, but he will be getting the frags that are going to win you rounds, and that's what's important at the end of the day.
Well, I think they've got a pretty solid lineup, but look at the head-to-head between the two teams. Hard to read into it again where there's so much variation this evening, but Virtus.pro, we kind of called it as the leaders. Now, the weird thing is when you do look at it, and obviously there's not a lot of past encounters where TK is obviously a newer team. The weird thing is that the 16-0 game did exist between these two teams at one point. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, there has been, that was the cash game, there has been some moments of brilliance from Team Kinguin. I remember it was Pasha that said, they'll never, ever beat us, or whatever it was that he said, you know, and then now he swallowed
We have
his
to remember
words.
that tournament was what caused the revolution with MVP. That's when after that they changed the roles up. So this is when they were at their darkest, I think, at the Faceit venue, and that's when we called. Well, they either need to change players or completely change the roles within the team, and that's what they've done. They bounced back straight after that. They won CEVO and got back on the horse, and that's what's so good about VP. They never give up. They always kind of work on their issues.
Yeah, I feel like VP also struggled with the fact that they were just their scheduling was not good. They were going back to back events throughout the year so far, and I think that it's a type of team that really needed a bit of a break to like reassess their things. Well, how do they want to approach things? And now it seems to be paying off.
They definitely, from March to sort of like, I would say, late May, they were at the most events of any team, hands down.
Yeah.
So
Easy.
You're dead right. There's our head-to-head matchup though tonight. Dennis, who I think has to step up, obviously is without Rain and Scream in the lineup. Yes, sure, you can add Forrest skill, but Dennis, one of the obvious players on that team, needs to make himself extremely prominent on the map this evening. And then Bialy, for me, is a player that has been a little quieter than I like to see from him. I think when he's on, he's one of the most exciting players to watch.
Yeah, just watching Dennis as well. I didn't really know too much about him coming into Kinguin, but ever since I've been watching him, he's one of the great players I actually have. He's always reliable, seemed to find good entry frags as well. Just when he's like kind of seasoned that sort of role, he can find frags out of nowhere. Just when they lose the first 2 frags, if he's alone on a bomb site, he can seem to find entrances into rounds out of nowhere. So it's going to be great to watch him tonight. Definitely going to need to step up, like you mentioned, without Scream or Rain here. They're going to be looking to him to kind of pick up some frags. But like you said, Bialy, every single game, he's going to be good. He's why in almost every single Dream Team you've mentioned it tonight. So yeah, definitely a good matchup here. And it's going to be, I think, 2 pivotal players to both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And their statistics fairly even. Graphs a little bit more to one side here and there, but overall, if you combine it, it looks pretty dead even between the two. So we'll see what comes out. I think it's fairly straightforward where we're all leading with a prediction, though. I'll start with Natsu.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a 2-0 Virtus.pro. I don't think there's...
Should we look at the maps first?
Yeah.
Do you want to look at the maps
Fair
first?
enough,
or
we can do that.
That's probably good.
It's up to you. All right, let's look at the maps
look at the
first
maps,
then,
sure.
and we'll... Before I throw you under a bus, in case it's Dust 2 first, you never know. Okay, well, it's Cash.
Well, the
16-0, never forget.
16-0 could be real.
Yeah, I think, that's one of those things where the Lightning, they don't strike at the same place twice,
well,
type of thing.
The thing to note as well is the Kinguin's pick, right? So they'll be starting on the T side as well. So that's probably not going to happen. That's when they started CT. They got the 15-0 in. But interesting maps nonetheless. Cash, obviously, strong pick for both teams, I'd say. And then we go into D train second. But VP, I've talked about how much I like their train, especially their CT setup. They'll be starting on the T side of that. But their T side as well, when you're not prepared team and you're not drilled, their outside rushes and executes are really scary to hold against. That's where Pasha really comes to his own with the AK entrance kills like I talked about. So the maps, I'm going to say, really do favour VP here. A CT setup on Cash is pretty hard to effectively play. There's a lot of reactions you need to do to what the terrorists are doing. And if you don't have that synergy, which I don't believe Kinguin will have, they're going to struggle against a drill lineup.
All right, so let's go back to the prediction then. You sticking with it then, 2-0?
Yeah, it's not going to change, is it? I don't think. Virtus.pro is going to start CT and Cash. I don't feel like Kinguin is. They would need to have a bit of structure on the T side to have the tools to how to take middle sort of control, especially because I think that's the most important part of the map. And unless they get into a crazy run where they win pistol on first weapon round and sort of force VP to go into that stupid mode where they just keep force buying, I don't think it's going to happen.
They can't make that mistake again, though. Surely they must have watched that back yesterday and just thought, okay, why did we never have an AWP here? Or why did we actually have Famises and no nades every single round? There's sometimes you just need to say, okay, let's take this eco on the chin, even a double eco, and make sure we win the rest after that instead of getting into the spiral of economy deficit and it just goes horribly wrong. And that's what happened yesterday, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, so you're sticking 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0 as well. I just think that with this
I'd love to disagree with you, but I'm going to be boring and just go 2-0.
We're being safe.
Well. Sorry.
Let's go Kinguin 2-0. No, I'm kidding. I think we're all pretty much in agreement that this should be Virtus.pro for sure. We all think 2-0. Yeah, look, everyone is in agreement. Twitch chat as well with 2 for Virtus.pro. So nothing exciting tonight except for the fact that we're either 100% right or we're 100% wrong.
Fair enough.
At least we're together.
Forever.
Well, at least we're not holding hands.
Well, wait till the next map when it all goes wrong.
Yeah, don't tempt me.
Well,
you're lucky I'm not sitting in the middle.
So Twitch chat for once actually agrees with us. They're normally the opposite side of the spectrum, right? So that's quite interesting. So
yeah.
Thanks for joining us this time.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if they joined the rest of the bidding as well because we've got all of our predictions on screen. And they do favor, at least off the start with EGB, 1-4 almost odds, 80% to 20. CSGO Lounge now also on similar keel. Esports Gaming, no different. That's 1-3, so not quite as one side as EGB was. A lot more even on HLTV.
49th. That's really weird odds. I don't think if the bookies were offering me that, I'd say I don't want to be involved in this whatsoever. That's
there are some odd
bad.
ducks. There are some odd ducks that inhabit that website.
Yeah, that is not worth the bet. But there we go. Twitch chat slightly favouring VP as well. It's not as much of a landslide as I'd expected, to be honest, considering the lineup changes we've got here. There's two very important players missing from the Kinguin lineup. I'm
going to be honest, though, with the thing with Twitch chat, we kind of go with it every night, and it's implied, but it's a lot of fanfare, and obviously Kinguin, with the star-studded lineup they have a lot of people that are going to support them regardless. So I think, obviously, they all did favor Virtus.pro, some greater than others, but I think it's pretty straightforward where we should be.
Well, we're going to see very soon. We're going to be opening up on Dcash. Here it is, the slide. Oh, my God. There's a new roller coaster in town.
We literally went down the slide. That's amazing.
It's the hottest ride.
My mom never let me do that at the park when I was a kid.
She still doesn't.
What Mama doesn't know.
Look at this here, Dcash. Obviously, we talked about VP starting on the CT here. I think that's going to be fantastic for them. Although, like Cash, if you're looking at the statistics, it's not obviously it's not a massively CT favored map. But just if you're looking at Tier 1 CS and the way the teams approach it, they'll be definitely looking to win this half. Getting the pistol, especially if you want to dissect the pistol around a little bit to what we might see as well. We will be seeing VP probably pushing a little bit, maybe into B storage, trying to get some information, or they'll be stacking middle. Those are the two options you have. Obviously, the T's being a little bit of a mixed team, they'll just be choosing to rush somewhere. If they bring something more methodical, I'd be very impressed indeed. I don't see it happening, though, to be honest. It'll just be a straight-up B rush, I'd imagine. The key is, when you rush B, you need to make sure the first player jumps around the corner just to kind of reset the aim.
Yeah, you mentioned that, yeah.
So that's, if you just run in, then allow the first CT to have his aim at the same headshot height as everyone else, that's when he gets in trouble. He needs to jump around the corner. At least if he dies, he's got the aim away from the rest of his teammates, and it's normally a pretty simple victory. If you don't win the round, you will get the bomb down. So that's going to be important. Obviously, if Kinguin do get the pistol, as Natu mentioned, we could be in for something a little bit interesting. If they don't get that and they go down 3-0, I think they're going to have a very difficult time indeed actually taking apart this VP defense, especially with the new roles as well. We haven't seen too much of them on Cash, especially since the roles have changed. This is a map they've come on straight away from since the 16-0 incident. But hopefully they can show us now what they've been working on and get off to a good start here. But it looks like we will be going live now. We can see there are 2 smoke grenades bought for Kinguin, and that's something I actually didn't predict. I thought they'd be doing a straight up rush. So they'll be boosting a couple of players up here. And we can see the CTs not pushing either. They would actually just be waiting in middle. Fox opens up the frag and he takes down Neo.
Not a bad start. So Kinguin, man advantage, looking to double that up as Snacks takes a lot of damage down to 44, and he's gone, but he's gone after 2 of his teammates beat him to it. It's Taz and Bialy, a race you don't want to win. And a round you don't want to lose. Kinguin, that's impressive.
Yeah, that was an ace split, basically, and Fox getting that first pick on the guy in CT connector was very important. That if he would have lived longer there, he could have done the distraction and make the attack less of an impact. So, yeah, great job there from Kinguin. Just a pretty simple ace split.
Not a single kill as well for VP, so that's definitely not what we expected here. We can see a semi-forced buy into this. Bialy and Taz getting armor and pistols, and Nova coming in from Pasha, and Bialy's actually shot down to 1 HP at the start of the round, so it's going to be painful for him. Forrest does finish the job off there. 5 and 4 now. We talked about the economy being a problem for VP, as once again, these force buys not really working out too well for them.
Pasha, shotgun, waiting on B at vents, hoping someone will drop down to his fortune in his crosshair, but no one will. Bomb's now going to work toward A. Matter of time. But if Pasha can at least take an AK, it would be a bonus for their next round. Whereas you mentioned the force buy will leave them with even less money to purchase, or at least want to purchase.
At least they were smart enough with Neo not buying at all.
And Snacks as well. So Snacks has saved 1,000.
Yeah.
Neo's paid 1,400. We talked about those guys being the dual ops there. So maybe that's something they're looking towards going into the first round. They did a full eco here, got some kills, and maybe a possibility. I think Neo will be the only one to actually be able to take that option, having a look at the cash. But we have got Pasha saving the Nova. Very interesting buy on cash, especially when you're going up against a team that just got the bomb down and all 5 kills. I'm not really sure what he's hoping to make happen with that, to be honest.
Yeah, they were. What Virtus.pro they tried was just to stack middle and get some cheeky early kills there, and hope the trades go.
You'd have to make a pretty interesting decision to send all 5 players out without really clearing it out. Obviously, you can boost, you can get intel at the start of the round, and to commit 5 players there and run into a stack, you'd have to make a long list of errors for that to happen, I guess. But There we go. It's going to be the Nova has been saved. We can see the money is working pretty well for Neo. He will be able to get an AWP next round. But Kinguin now looking to keep things a little bit more simple. They are going to send 2-1-2 out, just holding the pushes for now and seeing what they can work out. It's quite disciplined from them, to be fair to them. Bomb goes down outside A. You see the CT's now pushing into squeaky door as well, trying to get some info. And it's going to be Neo getting taken down from a headshot from Makaleli.
Forest all the way to short A already. Just pushing up.
And getting a lot of map control as a result of that. He does get shut down by Snacks, but before that, Taz, who was trying to get through Squeaky, got caught by Makalele. So they still will have access onto this A site. Bombs way back down outside of A main towards spawn. They'll go back and get that quite comfortably as just B alley remains. But Deagle's still doing damage. Fox is going to walk out of B. He gets him with the AK, and that'll put us into the first gun round. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to go exactly like you said. They can afford a glass cannon on Snacks, but that's it.
Yep, so we can see Neo definitely is going to go for one, but I think it's an interesting choice. They just want to make sure they have that AWP. He'll probably go towards B, I would imagine, just to lock it down as the anchor, right? Just to make sure he can just have one player there and they can invest more men towards middle there.
Yeah, they often play pretty passive A. They play heavy middle, and if they're an AWP, Neo's going to be playing B alone.
But he's actually gone towards middle. He's going straight for the boost as well. This could be interesting. He's actually going to have Forest facing him. Forest takes down Snacks, but Neo answers straight back. So you still have to give the advantage towards the T side here. That's a very favourable pick for them. Now considering the CTs have to decide whether they leave middle open now. They back up the solo player on the A bomb side. Neo decides to take matters into his own hands. It takes down Fox to reply.
Well, the next kill going to go to Taz, on to Dennis. So Virtus.pro still with the man up, and Neo bought so quickly, I apologize, I called it. They didn't have the money for the op. He'd already spent on armor at that point in time, so he was committed to it. They knew exactly the plan, and now it's Makalele who has to respond. Smoke's still out, but as it dissolves, he'll be able to spot Highway. No one there right now from VP. There's still got a B bias going on with a mid push, from Neo, so no one's going to be able to rotate extremely quickly toward Taz. So if they go now and kill him, they'll have a chance to get this bomb down. The flash going to go over. Taz pops out. A miss by Makalele as he tried to go for a late no-scope, and that allows Legia in. But again, it had to be swift and quick because Pasha was already there.
Yeah, that we saw first example of Kinguin, how they're probably going to play this. They're just going to try to get the early picks there. Yep. Forest getting boosted up. Does get the pick, but gets traded away. And then eventually they try to get some picks towards A. They didn't really have a lot of structure. They were just running in there and hoping for people getting headshots, but it's not working out that time.
Yeah, it all came down to that first pick. Had Forest survived there, that would have been a very strong round for them, but unfortunately, Neo was just in the right position there. We can see 5 AKs coming out, though. Yeah,
and it's going to be Taz, the only one pushed up right now onto A main. And they're going to put a lot of pressure onto him around the corner. Dennis, I'm surprised he got that. He looked away at first toward the back of Truck. Instead, he reacts fast enough. Neo gets back into Legia from Truck. Nade landing directly on his face as he pushes through the smoke. This allows now the terrorists to get in and get that bomb down, crucially. Dennis with 7 HP will watch from Quad to cover off Highway. As Forrest comes back in, eventually will get Neo. Pasha follows up onto Dennis to get it back to 3-on-3. Snacks has interestingly tried to go the catwalk approach with the smoke below, but as he does, he commits his aim toward Quad, and as a result, Fox is able to take him from A main. Forrest now takes Pasha, but it's traded back and then answered with another by Bialy, who brings it to the 1-on-1. 42 HP for him, full for Makalele, and he knows he's at Quad. They've already figured out the positions, they just haven't been able to flush him out, so now Bialy tries, and Makalele wide peeks, wins the duel.
That would have been such a hard round to do if there was a smoke on A main. But since there wasn't, Dennis got the pick on Taz, and that was the whole bomb side open, because VP really likes to play a really passive A side. They usually just have one either forklift or in that MBK position. And since there was no kills from Taz, that was really it. That was really hard for Virtus.pro to do a retake when they had no control of anything.
Absolutely. Looks like they do. They know the CT's going to be eco here. Very fast play towards the B bomb side, seeing if they get some information and potentially lock it down. And Forest opening up with the Mac 10 onto Snacks, and they should just be full speed ahead here into the B site as the CT tries to rotate and work on what's going on. But Patch does take down Fox. But now the frag should come in to say that Bialy takes down Makalele as well, but the round is neutralized. Actually goes to a 2-on-2 situation now as Dennis takes down Pasha as well. 1-on-2 now, and it's going to be Taz, the final man remaining. But this eco has been pretty interesting from the CTs. Not as clean cut as we thought it may be.
Taz will work through that smoke in vents. There are guns near. He does pick up with no armor. Aim punch can be a factor, but all he needs to hit is one clean headshot, and he'll make it probable and try and work toward this site. He now knows where both players are, as they've both made a peek toward him. but they haven't peaked together, and that allows them to eventually isolate Taz and take him down. 5-1 Kinguin. This is a good start for them, and also Forrest, who's stepping in with 9 kills to lead the way.
Yeah, exactly kind of way that Kinguin really had to have it if they want to have a chance here. I mean, at this point, Virtus.pro has to realize the way Kinguin is going to be playing. They're going to be playing very simple, just going with one flash or no flash at all, and just running in together as a unit. So they're going to be ready for the early battles a lot of the time.
Passion out, looking to do damage, aggressive play at B, but he's out of ammo. He's down to 13, they don't push, they can't get around the corner fast enough, so he stays alive and at least picks up 1. But Neo knew they were in trouble, he rotated quickly, so B's not entirely vacant. As Michael rotates back over from A, and as a result of the damage dealt, Team Kinguin will slow it down.
Look at the buy from the VP as well. They've got absolutely nothing to play with. All nades expended now. They're going to have to sit and hold back, play one man in each choke point and hope for the best. The T's are aware of this as well. Forrest just sitting there patiently waiting for a CT to make a mistake. That's exactly what happens. And now Snacks has a mountain to climb here to even get a chance of getting any kills.
And he drops out of the vent, but he had to break it out, so they instantly turn his attention toward him. There will be no element of surprise. It's just left to Taz again. He was in the 1-on-2 last time, and interestingly, he's going to pick up the op here, so I would suggest that he's likely going to hold on to this, even though Fox and Forrest are low on HP. They'd rather have a gun to work with in the next round.
Well, it's going to be difficult to make anything happen with it. They're going in the next round about $2,400 each, and they full board into that one and no nades whatsoever. 1 kid as well. Taz is just going to be not in the best position either. If any T's rotate out that way, they're probably going to get taken out, but difficult again for VP. We talked about the economy management being important for them. They went into that round with 2 smoke grenades. That was it, I think, and some FAMASes. And then forwards, you're never going to win the rounds, especially on the form Kinguin seem to be in right now, hitting all their shots, getting a really strong buy together. Forrest stepping up, like you mentioned. I think he's on 10 frags now. And it's a very simple player. So the thing about Cash, you can approach the bomb sites. A site, for example, 1 simple smoke towards highway, get out together with some nades, and if you know they don't really play that site very heavily, you can just win those duels every single time. So how will VP react to this? Will they be force buying once again?
I hope not. I mean, what they should do right now is just save this and then go double off on the next one. Have an opera play A, have an opera play B, have 3 in middle.
Well, that means they can have 1 player towards a B and then invest more men onto the A site, where it seems to be a problem for them. But here we go.
Well, Forrest is weakened up already, 21 HP for him, but Dennis will get the opening kill. As Legia, we haven't mentioned too much from him so far this game. The coach, taking in the player role, goes down again. He loses out to Neo this time. Still only 1 kill for him, despite his team's success. And now it's a shift over toward B, where Snacks is trying to get to quickly by rotating out a Z connector. Neo's going to do the same, but B Ali's already gone, so it's going to have to be a retake when they arrive. And the bomb, it's being planted as we speak. And as we speak, more deaths incurred. It's all down to just Neo and Taz. And I imagine Neo might hold on to this op for yet another round if he can, because they're looking to push onto him. He's fully blinded up. They spot him. He shoots, can't get away from it, but now he's stuck toward the ramp at heaven, and there's no escape plan from there.
Yeah, so 1 man remaining. It's going to be Taz. He's picked up an AK this time. Going to be wanting to save that once again. And this is looking pretty desperate now for VP. Obviously, we're not even halfway through yet. There's definitely room to bounce back. As Natu mentioned, I think the double orb setup is going to be their best port of call here, just to kind of stabilize things and allow them to rotate easier between the bomb sites. Mid doesn't seem to be a huge area of contention for them right now. It seems to just be straight up A or B after working some picks, more or less. So let's see how they react to this. The money is fairly decent enough to saving that AWP. They're going to drop that onto Nia, and what's Snacks going to be buying into this? He's actually going to get M4 as well. Bayali still yet to buy. So 4 M4s again. I'd like to see them gain some more information at the start of the round, instead of letting the T's kind of come into the bomb sites, maybe pushing into A storage, trying to get a first early kill there, just to bring the round into their favor before things kick off. But seems like Kinguin now, I'm not going to show any presence towards B whatsoever. Everything towards middle and A.
Forrest, using that smoke to his advantage, will go over to the far right corner inside A main. Chance to spot Taz if Taz gets careless when that smoke dissolves. Nope, not going to happen. They're going to double smoke that up. As Michael waits at Squeaky. It's Taz in behind the forklift. And now knows that the door's open. Has to make a decision on which entrance he wants to cover more. Which one's going to be a greater threat to his success in the round as the smokes now come out. Well, that's going to isolate it for him. He's got to look toward A main because his vision towards Squeaky's gone. Unless he overextends, and I hate that damn object, as we see, it takes so many bullets away from doing damage. Instead, it's Legia who actually kills Dennis, trying to get shots in. He eventually makes up for it and does hit his intended target as Taz will go down, but Neo and Snacks have responded. It's down to 3 versus 2, And Fox and Michaelele still don't have an entrance on the site, which has full CT support now. And the bomb, it's dropped inside A main. 1 HP, gone.
That was a good example of how important it is to stay alive when you're at forklift, because if had Taz died there instantly, that would have meant that Kinguin would have gotten out on the site a lot easier. Now he played so much time for his teammates to roll it to A, so it became pretty much impossible for Kinguin to win that round.
Yep, absolutely. We saw the Neo going into the back of A as well, and that was just nice solid picks from him. That's the picks I was talking about going into this game. He hits 1 or 2 that actually win them the round, and they should stabilize things. Like I said, it was only just gone half time, so VP can still win this half and be absolutely fine. But there we go. Neo, once again, that's the aggressive pick I was talking about. Bring the round in their favor before any other picks can happen.
Well, VP with all the success in this round, and Taz a little bit further in the corner is able to take Dennis with much greater precision than last round. Again, still all 5 members up, though, for VP. As Pasha with the Mag 7 is all the way back at truck, so not going to be able to do much, really, from that range with it. As Fox will take down Neo. Michaelele gets back into Pasha. It's turning back around. There's a chance here for the entry. Taz is going to have to hold this corner. He stayed alive. He makes it work. Bomb's now dropped. And with 1 player remaining, Snacks has made the flank successful.
That was really cool. Did you see Snacks did the solo boost onto upper there? That was you didn't see much of that these days. That was pretty fun to watch.
It's when you do early aggression like that against mixed team, that's when it gets really hard, because there's no structure really. So, I mean, that's one of those things when you're drilling as a team, you kind of take into account that there's a possibility for early aggression. So you have certain roles for the players of who's not phasing, who's ready for who's anti-flash positions and so forth. So, yeah, you know, it really makes sense for VP to play aggressive early in the rounds.
Well, they finally broke in the terrorist economy now. You can see all 5 players will be on pistols, and they will be conveying all over to the bomb site. Here we go. Here comes the execution onto B now.
Execution's not really working out as planned, because it's just all Virtus.pro. As Lagia drops, and then Michaelele immediately after. Hardly any damage. Pasha down to 63. That's it. They didn't even have to deploy many utilities.
Well, Lagia, we talked about him being the coach. Needs to look at his own game right now. 1 for 9. He's chucked a little team kill into that mix as well. So he's not really doing too much with them right now. It's a pretty simple round for VP here. No one really contesting the frags as Pasha clears up at the end there. But here we go. Another full buy for Kinguin. Not too much in terms of utility to play with, but at least they have got the 5 guns. Neo moving his position once again, heading over to B this time for the solo player of the AWP.
Boost for boost. They're going to go straight at it. Michaelele gets over top and beats them to it. So Snacks will go down, but Pasha, he's inside that smoke, turns around. He does spot Lagia, who didn't know he was there, so it works out for him. Forrest is there to answer. So it's still a man advantage right now for Team Kinguin. That nade's going to go a little bit deep and not do much damage. Forrest was too far to the right. Virtus.pro, they'll get back out and take down Fox. Michaelele is extremely low on HP. He's going out towards Squeaky. Is Forrest going to go join him because he now has the bomb, and Dennis will take over mid. It's going to be an A. They can split it. They've just got to get Forrest in position. Neo's rotating over from B. If he doesn't get there soon, he's going to have a lot of problems when he does. Bialy, he stayed alive. He manages to dodge Forrest long enough, but eventually he does go down. It was inevitable, so Neo's close enough. Does Neo make it work? He stops the bomb plant, but he does go down immediately after.
Yep, did what he could at the end there, running in with the Tech 9. Could have gone either way. Manages to stop the plant going down, but unfortunately just getting picked at the end there as well. But their money is absolutely fine. That was a pretty big round for Kinguin to win as well. Winning the half on a pretty much a force buy. They had 5 AKs, but it just purely came down to picking there. We saw Pasha pushing into mid-warehouse, bumping into Lagia as well, not able to do more than 1. And we saw a lot of aggression coming out from the CTs as well, boosting up themselves, getting taken down by Michaelele. But it looks like a very fast round now from the Ts, boosting up to middle, and Pasha could have his work cut out for him.
Pasha seems to be okay with the task because he's picked up 2. Michaelele, Fox go down. Dennis mans up, goes through the smoke, manages to find the response. Taz has come over to resume the activities. He'll pick up 1 of his own. Kinguin left with Dennis on 2 HP and Forrest on 100. Oh, Neo. He's pushed up, but I'm not sure he even expected to miss that shot. He compensates. Does take down the 2 of them, but
I think we need a replay to see if he missed. That looks pretty much spot on to me, but there we go. Pasha stepping up in middle like I said he would. Getting the 2 frags he needed on that mid aggression. Seems like Kinguin now just kind of throwing anything they can at each round, seeing what sticks. And unfortunately for them, boosting up to middle, it's got completely locked down. That forces him now onto another eco after winning one round and losing the following one. They are going to be forced by, though, Tech 9, some deagles, armor, a bit of nades as well. They probably could do a simple A execution here. And you can see most of the players actually heading over to A as well. The bomb will be with them. One player is holding the flank of B. That's going to be Forest. Let's see what they can make of this. This is a tactic MV made pretty famous, and they seem to win it every single time, so let's see what Kinguin can do with it.
Snacks is the one that's on Heaven. Stares at the door, but they've actually managed to push Dennis into the site so far undetected. Taz can't do much about it either because he's smoked off. Instead he watches the jumping angle. That's the correct decision. They jump through on him. He's got to switch over to the pistol. Eventually Fox will get him, but goes down immediately after to Neo. Taz good read on the play, knowing the first threat would be over top. But in the end, it's still Virtus.pro to pick up the round. 6-8 now. They're making a comeback into it as they picked up 5 of the last 6.
Well then, after force buying that, they didn't get the bomb down either. Not a lot to play with. They have the Desert Eagles and Armor once again going into the last round now. And you can see, interesting enough, the CT's had lots of money to play with there. Snacks opting for a Mag 7 instead of a drop from his teammates. So maybe he's got something special in store for us. But the T-side aggression coming out once again. Michael Eddie opening up the fragging, taking down Snacks. Is quickly countered by Pasha. He neutralizes the round. There's a lot of aggression here. Pasha once again taking down the gear as well. 4-on-3 situation. And Pasha is just cleaning up completely here. And a simple round for him, flexing the muscles as we go into half number 2, sorry.
Not really sure if they had to force buy on the second to last round. They should have just saved and tried to actually get one full buy instead of 2 force buys.
I think you're absolutely right, but I think the temptation of learning how strong the Tech 9 execute onto A can be, it takes very little investment. You need, 1 or 2 smokes, a pop flash, go out, and if you know that the CTs aren't too heavy on the A-bomb site, it can be quite appealing to you, but definitely agree if you're playing the percentages game, get yourself a full buy in the last round and just lock them down like that, but wasn't meant to be. So Kinguin do win the half, but I don't think this will be enough against what VP are going to bring to the table on their T side, but let's see how it goes down. I mentioned the rush B being a very common strategy for T sides on cash. It looks like they will be employing that one. Let's see how this goes down for them. Slowing it down, actually. Actually going to be using a smoke as well, so maybe they're going to be isolating the checkers area before going into the site.
Fox is in checkers now as well. Going to try and get more vision. Has an escape plan where there's still a smoke out, so that'll work in his advantage as well, but he's run out of bullets. Has to go for the knife, can't do it, and his teammate's gone down on entry. That was Legia, so Virtus.pro looking to answer back with a pistol round of their own. Just enough to push them over the edge potentially. Snacks will grab that bomb as it was dropped, and that means Forest gets there in time to spot it crossing. Smoke will go out, but that smoke works both ways right now. Who's going to man up and go toward that bomb? It looks as though Taz has done so, but this isn't as clear cut as it initially looked whatsoever. Both players coming from Heaven right now. Dennis down, 5 HP left for Forest. As the bomb does get planted, it's not looking likely that he'll be able to make this happen unless the Pistol Master can hit all headshots at this point. And it's looking less and less likely.
There it is. So you saw the terrorists there looking like they're going to do on full on B rush, but like I mentioned before the game, a common strategy for CTs is to push 2 or 3 people into the B storage area just to get that information, and the Ts were just waiting for that, seeing whether they were presented with a counter push themselves. Didn't happen. And interesting enough, they put a smoke down in front of the entrance, took away that info from the CTs, but they actually ran through it themselves. And running through a smoke on CSGO is not normally advised, but it seemed pandemonium completely ensued there. We saw knife kills trying to come in from Fox, and it was pretty crazy, but ultimately VP win the round, and they get 4 SMG buys here. I think something we've seen quite a lot from them recently, actually. 1 AK on Taz, but it's actually going to be a semi-force buy from Kinguin. Michael Ailey and Nadia opting in for armor, but they will get a Desert Eagle.
Just to touch on that round still, there was the second guy in B, he got totally blinded. I think they threw his flash, VP did, through the smoke, which blinded the second guy as well. So none of the B guys got any of the kills.
Yeah, then. Much slower around here, Pasha working out what he can do, but guessing the checkers.
Pasha's made his way in there. Made it out for the rotations. As we'll find Dennis first. The bomb's got in the middle, so now they have the option to split. He's still more likely, but Fox taking down Pasha. He's the only scout they had there, so Neo has to check, and they think better of it. Legia's gone back toward Truck, so if they can find Michael Ailey, there's a chance to move through. Taz has to take the duel one-on-one. Neo needs to still cross over. 39 seconds. It's not like it's in dire need to get this bomb down, but if they don't get it there soon, all their teammates are going to dissolve and be gone. It's left to just Fox. Bialy, he falls away because he ran low on HP, but Neo post-plant will come around and get the kill.
So utilising the SMGs there. A little bit too close to comfort, I feel, but ultimately that was a force buy from Kinguin. So VP taking the round on the chin. They're going to have a decent buy going to this. You can see the SMGs being kept for them. Actually, some of the other players trying to work out how they're going to approach this next round. Mac 10, AK, and Neo looks like he's keeping a USP for next round and be getting the AWP out, but looks at things. But this will be a full eco and a rush B or a stack B perhaps from Kinguin as Forrest makes his way to that box on the right.
Pasha did look that direction, but the timing didn't work out for him. No one was showing it his head at the time, but Snacks coming through vents will find out Forrest before he can do any damage from that position, which now allows the entry to take place. They've got a bit of a stack, like you said, though, and as a result, there is still 2 players, despite 2 going down inside the site. Pasha's realizing that. Has the bomb. It has. Taz gone back to middle, so they'll hit toward A. As we watch the action resume inside B, and Bialy's actually going to push directly through middle, so he cuts off the rotation and give Taz that extra time to go ahead and plant the bomb, which is planted for Highway and Truck. And Legia, Fox, they're not even going to have a chance to rotate. VP's figured them out already.
Legia just waiting there. And he will get taken down eventually, but that was quite a nice play. It looked like it was up against the ropes for VP, but they're getting the bomb down at A, got the nice crossfire and the Z-holes there, and facing from CT spawn meant they guaranteed themselves the round. And now we have the double AWP setup from Kinguin. Fox and Merkelady picking that one up. We talked about being a very strong setup. Neo, of course, will be answering back of one of his own. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes towards with that. Whether he'll be going to hold down middle by himself. Looks like all 5 players for VP, they were going towards a B bomb site. Something quick, nice and fast for them. Let's see how the CTs can react to that. Going to be Fox waiting for them.
Snacks is going to look inside that smoke and beyond into Checker. But unfortunately, he's limited in his movement now as the Molotov comes out. Check what he could already see. As Legia waits inside vents, flashbang through, that pops it for him, so he gets to walk in directly with the gun deployed, but 1 HP as he crosses over. And is he going to be aware? No, he can't even. Pasha's hit him with the nade. I thought he might have a chance to take down the player underneath of Hell. But bomb was dropped, so this does buy a little bit more time for both Forrest, Dennis, and Michael Lilly. As it goes down, Neo's spotted up too. So they know they've got at least company from Checkers. Forrest going to win that first duel. Neo's still got this cross set. Missing on the first shot. It's Dennis to respond. Now it's all on Snacks. Back of sight with an AWP. First shot successful. And if he can pull this off at this range, it would be remarkable. It's not to beat.
So pretty simple execution from VP. That is going straight into the B bomb site. Wasn't as simple as it looked, though, because Fox opening up the first frag. And a big exchange as well. Legia, he's struggling in this game, it has to be said. He's on 3 for 17 right now. And definitely one of the weaker players for Kinguin, but they do recover that round and get themselves back on the board.
The important part there was that Fox managed to stay alive as long as he did, because B bomb site is very hard to retake on this map. Like, it's super hard.
This is the first shot he got there. This is what you're talking about. He took that first shot, changed position, made sure he stayed alive, got info the bomb was there as well. But VP, we talked about this, you're going to be forced buying back into it. Neo's going to have the scouts, and he's going to get boosted up straight away. Will he be able to find a headshot here?
Over the top they go, already managing to get dropped in, but Forrest had spotted Sech and taken down Pasha. 1 round the difference and 1 man gone. It gives Kinguin a pretty good opportunity, at least at the beginning of this, to tie things back up. As Taz and Neo still out in mid, exposed entirely, have to get the damage back. Forrest does go down from the scout, but Dennis sliding back down. Highway does damage down to 11 HP. He's forced off of it. This allows Snacks to push a lot more forward. And not only that, recover the bomb. And now they can reconvene and reconsider. And Snacks is going to consider the vents as the alternative. Legia waiting on the opposing side. CT side of the Z connector will be able to rotate over and help out a passive Fox who's not directly inside B, so he's just playing to spot right now. He'll spot the cross and wait for his teammates to arrive. They're going to play the retake game, but that's going to be considerably harder after Neo gets that first kill onto Fox.
That made no sense to me that he was standing outside of the site. Fox, when he was alone, should be on the site.
91 HP, not a lot lost for Bialy as he tags up through the wall. Dennis is the one that needs to be a lot more careful on the repeat with 11 HP. And they need to go now if they're going to. And they will. Down from heaven, Michael Lilly finds Snacks, but Neo's responding. How does Bialy control this recoil? It doesn't matter. He only needs to hit the one. Neo's got the other.
Natsu's absolutely right there. When you've got the advantage, the man advantage, and you just have the AWP, playing in CT Spawn, there's two things going wrong there. If the T's have a smoke left, one smoke grenade, you're taken out of the round completely. And he was actually gifted an opportunity there, not getting smoked out, and he missed the easy shot coming into the site. Had he been on the actual site himself, he could have taken one shot, fallen back into cover, had the information and stayed alive like we saw him do before. But he just completely owned himself there, unfortunately. But now VP take that round and bounce straight back with a full eco for Team Kinguin.
Snacks is going to look, Snacks going to look to highway. So they want to get this split happening. Pasha falling back into mid. This is the right call because Foxy hears him coming, trying to get that quick flank rotation in, and he's shut down as a result. Everything looking successful until Lagia shows up with his pistol, pokes away. A bomb planted. Virtus.pro looking at round 12. And Lagia, like you said, still lagging behind on those kills, only with 4 so far.
Yeah, you have to feel a little bit bad for him. He's the coach. He stepped up. This is his opportunity to show what he can do still. Has he still got it? And looks like he's been a bit lost tonight, 4 for 18. Definitely going to be reviewing this later and see what went wrong for him. Rust starting to show. Well, he is going to be the last man remaining. He has got an AK in hand here, saving towards the T-spawn area. Looks like he may survive as well, but he has got Neo hunting him. But yeah, another round on the board for VP. That was a full eco from Kinguin, so they know their money's been absolutely devastated here. You can see them questioning whether they could buy.
Yeah, still questionable if they do buy.
No, they've been running the dual AWP setup so far. If they were to buy into this round, it'd be Famous Central. But seems like they will be playing the more disciplined approach here. They can get some 5.7s, use the AK as well. They haven't been stacking too much on their eco rounds, apart from the 1 second round we saw it be. But
I mean, they don't have a lot of chance in this match to start with, so you want to play with as much equipment as possible instead of keep force buying and stuff. So, I mean, that's just smart to feel.
Yeah, going down once again. The hands of Pasha, and now we are in the 5 and 4 situation.
Now regroup toward mid as well. Very passive stuff over at A as Michael Lele just creeping back from truck, but no one else really looking to find information. They are going to rotate back over toward A. 3 players getting there now as everyone grouping up for VP inside A main, and they're going to get pushed. That flash comes through. It's only going to amount to 1 kill, and as a result, 3 going down. A's wide open. Fox left to rotate all by his lonesome with just a 5.7 in armor. Do some damage to the economy. Not going to happen. Viali's found that kill, and it's 3 to go for Virtus.pro in map 1.
Well, here we go then. Only 1 round so far for the CT team. It's going to be 6-1 on this half, but they are replying back with Michael Lady on the AWP again. Let's just jump on board with him. Let's see where he does opt to go this round. We can see this clean up here from VP as they enter onto the A site. Pretty simple day at the office for them. Michael Lady going to be going towards the mid area, and he's not going to get much in terms of contention just yet, I think, but T's going to be slowing it down, a much slower approach from this time.
Pasha looking for the entrance onto the B site, pushes up, gets information inside the hall. Snacks, meanwhile, has entered into mid with the cover of 2 smokes.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be smoking off something on A.
Well, they've got Snacks out in middle, and it doesn't seem like Forrest has any clue. Look at that, 1 clean shot to the temple, taking him out, and now they've got their whole map as an opportunity here. The CTs don't know how to react to this.
They do have 2 players inside B on the platform, though, and that looks to be where VP wanted to put some pressure with Pasha and Snacks both over on that side of the map. Everyone else looking to come back through the fence now, and Pasha's found 1. That's Lagia. The second is Fox. He responds, but again, outside of the bomb site. We saw him play here before. This time he's forced away from it, and he ends up making it work as he takes down Pasha. There's still no smoke on that cross. There is going to be a Molotov.
They have none.
And that's exactly it. That flash wouldn't be enough. It's Michael Lele now's turn to take a peek with the op, and it's successful. This is falling apart for VP as they need to get that bomb over, and again it's dropped down. It's just the hot potato. No one wants to hold on to it and get the job done, and Michael Lele is going to take down Neo.
I mean, that was a perfect run up until that 1 smoke they were missing out on B.
They tried to do like 4 Molotovs down there just to kind of balance it out, but it's just made it crazy for them. Big round for Michael Lele there, but let's just see this from the CT point of view. Obviously, Fox opening up, and this is where the Molotov battle began. And they weren't really doing much of it. It actually just gave the CTs more camouflage, if anything. They were just holding back, and then Michael Lele finished things off. But the terrorist team do have enough money to buy into this round once again. Neo with the AWP, which is interesting. But the Famouses, Max 7, just Forrest makes his way through middle there. Dennis takes down Snacks as well. Looks like VP are running away with this round slightly.
As getting the ladder kill. It is going to be Michael though, waiting toward truck. Smokes out both above and below, but not into the corner, and that's where he is going to get spotted up from Pasha. And you talked about it, the rifle looking more and more positive. Well, there's 2 more kills with it, as that bomb is planted. Legia can do absolutely nothing. He picked up 1 kill just before, but not much to nullify the situation. 14 rounds now for Virtus.pro. Kinguin got the 10. It's better than you might have expected with 2 stand-ins. They may get more yet. We're not done. Virtus.pro are getting close.
I think we may be done here, unfortunately. Just considering the bye they had last round and going into this round, they don't really want to force into it as well. They know how desperate they are. They actually will be forced now. So pistols, some armor as well. Head armor against AKs. I'm not sure why you'd do that, but they've done it. They're showing the inexperience a little bit with this team, but they're going to be pushing B as well.
Shots out from Neo. Very well played. 3rd with the pistol. Maybe a 4th. Not going to happen. Dennis at least won't allow it. Dennis will turn back and find Snacks as well, so they've got it back to a 2-on-2. They've also managed to secure an AK, and Dennis does have head armor to complement it, but doesn't have the HP he would ideally love to have. He's down to 45 as the bomb gets planted on the A site, which is completely uninhabited right now. And I think that's going to be the cue to hang on to the 2 AKs that Michael has now picked up the 2nd.
And an AWP as well for Dennis.
Yeah, he swapped it.
Yeah, so no kits, so definitely going to save this going into the next round, so that's kind of interesting, but this fits VP on map points, and they're looking very strong here.
Needs to be pointed out that Neo's having a monster game at 27 frags right now.
He really
He's
is.
been tearing Kinguin apart.
Like, yeah, the other end of the spectrum, 5 for 22. Sorry to keep calling you out, bro, but you are
It is what it
lagging
is.
behind, unfortunately. He's a nice chap. We like him.
Very kind of you to put in some good thought. Saving face there, Henry.
Well, I met him a couple of times at the major, and he's a genuinely nice person, so I just didn't want to make it seem like it's a personal attack or anything. Just pointing it out.
Confirmed. Front page Reddit.
Yeah.
Henry hates the Gia.
It's coming. Well, here we go then. Potentially the last round of the series. You can see they did save their AWP and the AK, but Famas's and the pistol on the Gia. They will go for that initial pick on the booster.
And it is going to be Neo to start things off again, stepping up huge with this op. Pasha not far behind with his rifle, 25 kills. Snacks and Bialy pulling up the rear, but not too much farther behind. It's Taz and Bialy both have 17 kills. But Taz is gone. Neo is as well. Dennis and Forrest finding each frag. Now a nade going down on middle is going to take some damage into Snacks. Bialy's made his way inside the site, though. As a result, taking down Forrest now knows exactly where Dennis is with that kill. Okay, well, what's Snacks doing? He's gone toward the vent. He could go back toward Highway. I think they'll wait one more. They've got the defense split up. If they can get the final information, if Bialy could give them the read and he's caused the rotation, then they'll go, and they're inside the B site. Pasha's going to push directly through, not allow them to work back in his direction. And, well, he does go down. Can't close it out just yet, but Fox still thinks this is at A.
There we go. Pretty simple stuff at the end of the day. As soon as we saw VP get onto that T side, I think we knew they were going to be pulling apart the CTs. Doing very well, actually, on their T half to get 8 rounds, but it was never going to be enough. I think they needed to be looking at about 12 maybe, just to kind of guarantee themselves a chance of winning that one, but
yeah,
interesting game.
Yeah, even if Kinguin got that start we were talking about, exactly the start they needed, they still couldn't capitalize on it. So.
Absolutely, yeah. And once VP managed to get, I think it was 7-1 at one point, it went back to 8-6, and eventually 8-7 at halftime. Once VP started to get the economy working for them, get the picks, that was pretty much it. So I give Kinguin some credit. They got more runs than I thought they might due to that start, but there we go. Neo leading the way. 9 headshots, 28 kills overall. Pasha, 10 headshots, 26, not far behind. A lot of first kills, though. Actually, more first kills went the way of Team Kinguin when you add those up.
We saw Pasha being really influential, just walking into the bomb sites, finding 2 frags pretty much every single time. He was really strong. Looking towards the other team as well, Fox, considered the support player for Team Kinguin, actually stepping up there. I think in this kind of setting, he's allowed to step up a little bit more, gets more chance to go for some more cavalier sort of play. Forrest putting up a decent fight as well. But yeah, ultimately it just wasn't enough for them. We can see one player lagging behind there, but it was VP just utilising their team play on the T side. Very difficult to contain a team that's very well drilled. They're approaching all the situations correctly. And their clutch play is also going to be very formidable as well. So the result we expected, maybe not as close as we thought it would be, but still a good map to kick things off as we go on to D-Train.
Yep, map number 2, D-Train, Virtus.pro.
But that's the VP's map.
Well, exactly, right? They took Na'Vi on it last night. We expected them to. They're extremely well coordinated on the map. A little bit of the attacking insight here. So this is where the kills came when they were on their terrorist side. Obviously, pretty even. A few more kills over at the back of B, and interestingly enough, toward that CT connector where we saw Fox end up playing quite a few times.
Yeah. No, you can see Kinguin utilizing middle a lot more.
I was going to say a lot more mid.
So they went towards the mid area. They were stacking there. VP looking like they didn't really go towards that area too much. It just shows that the CTs weren't contending middle that much. That's what that says. So VP were able to get up middle, and they found their kills up highway or splitting to the vented or a B split. So you can see a very hot area in the B entrance there. So that's where they were favouring to go once they got the mid control. So CTs obviously and towards the truck area as well of CT spawn. So a lot of contention around there. But cash is pretty standard these days. You know where you're going to get most of your kills. It's just where the CTs tend to approach, and they were not really contesting middle that much. But looking to the future, as you should, it's going to be difficult for Kinguin to hold off VP on train, I think. They do have the advantage of starting CT this time. But is that going to be enough? The T side of VP is just so scary on train. It's one of the hardest ones to hold off, I think. And there we go, our MVP, Neo, one of my players. Was he one of yours, Matt?
He was not. He was not.
You had Snacks who didn't you, right?
I had Snacks and Bialy who were both at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, look, I'm the most brilliant drafter here. I can have an off night. Henry needs one here and there. I know his confidence level's low, so we'll let him have a night. I'm fine with that. It's no big deal.
If you want to play it like that, sure. All right.
I think that's been established. It's for blood now. It's a blood sport.
All right.
But we'll take a break. We'll come back with the next map. It will be Train. Virtus.pro looking to wrap it up in 2 as we all predicted, including Twitch chat. We'll see if it's going to be possible. We'll see you then. As a result, Fox is able to take him from A main. Forrest now takes Pasha, but it's traded back and then answered with another by Bialy.
Cool here. Just to kind of stabilize things and allow them to rotate easier between them, not too much of them right now. It's a pretty simple round for VP here. Not really contesting frags. Pasha pulls up.
Pasha seems to be okay with the task because he's picked up 2.
Rides the round. There's a lot of aggression here. Pasha once again taking down the gear as well. 4 on 3 support right here. Let's see where he does opt to go this round. You can see this clean up there. VP enter onto the A site. From the CT point of view, obviously, Fox opening up, and this is where the Molotov battle began. And they weren't really doing much of it. They actually just gave the CTs more camouflage than they had last round. And going into this round, they don't really want to force into it as well. They know how desperate they are.